Hey, Anna Laura, it's Allison responding to week 5. Great job. There's two things I wanted to discuss in response to your post. I'm sorry, I use an iPad and I'm moving it all over the place. The first one is you did a great job kind of detailing some of the assumptions. One, that the middle class would be more moderate because they're the middle class. So that was great. But the two things that really struck out in your response was you talk about how some of what's being said is really a philosophical statement. There's a lot of philosophy here and not a lot of evidence. And you were saying we needed more of that because there's not a lot of proof to back up these assumptions. And I agree with you. I used Trotsky to make my point because I felt like I needed a philosophical statement to say, you know, without this, you can't have that and whatever. There is something that you mentioned, sorry, that's my dog, about an illogical electorate, that we assume that there's an assumption that they would be logical in their electoral process. Okay, go. And that's a valid point. At first, I was actually a little bit offended, like, what are you trying to say? The middle class wouldn't be logical. But you know what? If there's no tradition for such behavior, and that's something that we've discussed all throughout this class and in other classes with Dr. Meredith, if there's no tradition of an electoral process, a constitutional process, a democratic process, whatever, if there's no tradition of that, then we assume then that, oh, everybody's gonna go to the ballot box and everybody's gonna this and then everybody's gonna be fine and it's a majority rule, and that is a big assumption, and I don't know that there's a causal connection there. And so I appreciate that you mentioned that because that is not something I had thought of. Finally, you acknowledged, and we have centuries of evidence to back this up, that to do anything quickly, abruptly, without gradualization, we run the risk of creating a power vacuum, and that is something that we've seen. And out of those power vacuums, we don't tend to see democracy develop. We tend to see fascism or communism or something like that. So anyway, great job. I appreciate it, and I'm just learning so much from you guys and your input, and it's going to make me a better something someday. Thanks. Bye.